All right, everybody. Our next guest is an amazing comedian impressionist who has been bringing his show, The Ultimate Robin Williams Tribute Experiences, to audience all around the country. And he even wrote and stars in his new independent film titled Being Robin, about a guy, oddly enough, who begins to portray Robin Williams. This is great stuff. I love this guy. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Roger Kabler. Roger, how are you doing, my friend? How's everything going these days?
I'm fine, Don. How are you?
Doing great, doing great.
I'm in Antarctica. Wow, it's really crazy out here on my desk.
What I love about what you're doing is there was a lot of buzz. You recently performed here on the island, and my Twitter feed was blowing up, and Facebook, a lot of buzz about your performance. I was watched it. I got video after video I was watching online, just kind of get bits and pieces of what you were doing. Amazing stuff, an amazing tribute to Robin Williams.
Whoa, look at this. Welcome to Donald Trump's bathroom.
Hey, girl. I don't know what we're doing here. It's very strange. That was the first show I'd done since March. And I thought I'd just go out and eat it. And there's 12 people. So thank God there's 12 people. But I mean, I was telling you before, I was doing an online show with no audience. And I'm just enjoying myself. So the laughter's in my head. But having 12 people out there, and I remember the joy of just being able to release in front of an audience. I don't even remember the show, and I haven't watched it. But it was really, and I know Robin was out there. Yeah. Oh, okay. Here we go. Let's party. Darling, it was like, wow, it's been since March. It was like taking a big emotional, it's like, wow, damn. And so it was, I don't remember what happened, but I do remember stepping back and going, Robin, just go. Yeah, get out of the way. I'm going now. Go. It was really fun. And
so when you get out there and you do get on stage and you're in the full Robin mode, the outfit, the suspenders, the shirt, all of his iconic look, and then you put the wig. Does he take over? Is it really happen like that?
There are moments, I have to tell you, when I have to tell the audience, hey, it's not just a show, it's a seance.
Thank you. Thank you. How you doing? Oh, already.
Because the way it happens is like, I'll find it'll click in, there'll be a moment where I really get out of the way, and Robin, there's a channel that he can just go and play. And I'll give you an example. This is a rare occurrence because I'm not as smart as Robin. I'm not a freaking genius. I can look like him. I can kind of act like him from time to time. It's okay. But what happened was I was explaining to the audience, this is the first time I tried this joke, and I think Robin really likes the joke. I was saying that, everybody's saying, get some balls. Can we say balls?
Yeah, you can speak freely.
Get some balls. And as it turns out, balls are the most sensitive thing on a man's body. Don't touch my balls, And it's just a weird sort of juxtaposition, and the audience wasn't biting. They were not interested in hearing me talk about how sensitive balls are when you're supposed to have balls, until I said they're testes. And I didn't think of that before I went on stage, but I heard Robin go, testes, try testes. And so what happens is all of a sudden my brain is channeling the way his does. I'm just getting out there and playing, and the way he would, but it's rare then I actually come up with something in front of people because I'm such a freaking nervous wreck most of the time. I'm like, I'm an imposter. I know, it's okay. Please don't kill me. So that's my neurotic Jewish stuff. And Robin's like, get out of the way. I'm coming through. And it's like, please just get out of here. Go sit down. I have this.
Does it empower you, and how does channeling Robin empower you?
Well, it's interesting because I know when I'm doing an impression and I know when it's just taking over. There's a difference because I'm trying so hard when I'm trying to do the impression. But when it just takes over, there's very little I have to do. I just say, get out of the way and let them work. And all the voices are there and all the characters, they're all there. And it empowers me in that it's a tremendous surge of electricity. And I compare it to hang gliding in a hurricane. you have this terrible feeling of you're flying and you're out of control, but what could, it's Robin Williams. He's not going to kill you.
Don't you think all cats are drag queens? I do. Who loves Kitty? You love Kitty?
You know, but it is intense. And there were moments in the whole course of this thing when Robin passed, and I had a very spiritual experience regarding witnessing his passing. He showed me directly how it was to be Robin Williams and to lose that. And it was very dark and very sad for me, but I also felt this great empathy and like, what can I do to help? So it's really Robin's spirit connecting with a human being in the waking life saying, will you please help me? I need to get back to work. I wasn't finished. I ended very badly. I wanted just one more chance. And in this show, you'll see he actually connects with the audience and what he might have said toward the end of his life. I come on as an old Robin at the end, say, hey, here we are now. What I wanted to say, what I didn't get a chance to say is this, you know, and it's a very humanitarian message. It's not preachy. It's full of fart jokes and stuff, but
but it does have depth to it. And I think so did Robin, and Robin can go from these fart jokes all the way to some real deep moments. And I think you kind of are able to capture that. And as your career, you've been doing this for a long time, stand-up comedy. You've been around at least since the late 80s, early 90s that I know of. Yeah. And you were always an impressionist, and you always had Robin in your act, even before Robin passed.
Oh, no. Oh yes. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Mom. Dude, all day. Yes. Whoa, look at this. It's the constellation. Sagittarius. Cancer.
Has Robin ever seen what you do?
Yeah, strangely enough, I mean, it feeds into it that I don't know if he was aware of me back then in the late 80s, because I don't know what he was aware of back then. I don't know. But he did see me do something when I first came back into show business about 12 years ago. I stepped back into it because somebody called me and said, do you want to do a show in which impressionists compete with each other for the best impressionist? I'm like, I'm not really in show business anymore, but what do you got? He goes, well, you could either do Robin Williams or Robert De Niro. So I picked Robin, and Robin saw the show, and apparently he liked the impression. So that's why he was haunting my ass. Thank you. Okay. No, but I mean, I don't know. I never met him, but I think he was aware of what I was trying to do as an actor, trying to get as many components. And I'm doing very poorly today because it takes me an hour to get into character. Away, you know.
Yeah, no, this is great, and like, you know, I've seen you in full Robin mode on interviews for news segments, promoting your show and stuff like that, and you get into it, and
because Robin is like wearing a mask, even though it's Robin, you have to look like that. And I don't look like Robin naturally. I have to really keep this face going and really hard. It's hard. I can't try talking this way. It's like wearing plaster. It's really weird. So for 45 minutes, my face is like, can we please?
It's amazing how you do the faces, the mannerisms. Like, you have him like so down. It is really amazing. And it is, you do get lost in it as a viewer, and you feel like you are watching Robin, it's so amazing.
Spend the whole time. Yeah. I mean, but what's really weird, Don, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Were you done?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
I think my shark's whispering in your ears. Tell me shut up. Tell me shut up. He talks too much. Where's medication, please? Can we have that, please? No, please. I feel sometimes just in waking life that Robin experiences life through me. There, not so much lately, but in the first year or so, it was really strange. I'd be sitting in a restaurant and people would be talking. I'd be like, I'd like to say something. No, please. I'm going to, shh, no, it's okay. But shh, it's okay. And I'd feel him wanting to jump in and be the center of attention. And I don't know if it was my own feelings, but I'd dream as Robin. I would dream that I'm Robin. And
wow,
this weird stuff would happen. I mean, I was walking in the woods that first year, and I remember just minding my business when all of a sudden, out of my mouth, sounding exactly like Robin, and Robin's thoughts going, I miss my kids. And I was like, I don't understand what this has anything. I was really actually mad, but then I realized I'm channeling something very, very dear, and I need to respect it. And that's what the movie's about too.
Wow.
When he realizes, who am I to deny this comic genius, his whatever this is.
Do you think like him? Like when you in your thoughts, do you have like Robin thoughts? Because I know you say you write your own material, but it's Robin style and.
Yeah, it's about harnessing the way he thinks, like that testes thing. But I remember consciously I was working. I don't know, how naughty can we get on this show?
Oh, you can go.
All right. Well, this is like a lasting. Well, what happened one night in the audience? I was just doing a show early on, and this lady who was drunk and sitting there with her husband, she goes, "Hey, let's have a drink. Have a drink with me." And I said, "Well, I don't drink anymore, but I bet I could eat you under the table." And I didn't mean it that way. I meant like we could in an eating contest, but people went crazy and the husband stood up and it was all very, oh, no, that's not what I meant. Please don't kick my ass. But that stuff happens. And I also remember I was raking the leaves in my mom's yard in Massachusetts. And I had this idea about what would happen, this idea about, when guys are lonely, they do weird stuff with fruits and vegetables. And I thought about a pumpkin. And then I thought about what happens if you're done and you sprinkle the seeds in the garden and the next fall, the pumpkins, one of them looks like Robin Williams. And, you've created this half-breed pumpkin that looks like a human because you pollinated a pumpkin. And I heard Robin in the back of my head screaming, laughing, thinking, that's hysterical, dude. That's that's my deal right there. That's my jam. Yeah. And so I do it in my act because he approves. I can hear him laughing. He doesn't like everything I come up with, but I do try to run it by him,
Oh my, never had a friend like me.
Do you think there is a possibility that he is channeling through you at times? Or do you?
I don't know. I mean, people can believe what they want. I believe that I am connected to the spirit world. Some people are. There are times. I don't want to tell people what to believe. I think when they see the movie or see my act, I know that like when Cindy Williams saw me do part of the act in LA, she, from Laverne and Shirley, and I guess she dated Robin, and she said, "I feel Robin." And I said, "Well, that's my job. Thank you for saying that. That's what I'm trying to give you, as a sense that he's really here." He isn't always present. I can tell you that it's a conjuring, and sometimes I really feel him on stage, and sometimes I'm just doing an impression. But you try, and there's moments, and that's what makes it all worth it.
I think when I was watching you, like I said in some of those interviews on the news, I forget, I think Arizona or whatever, you were totally in Robin character and riffing and doing stuff off the top of the head, and it was like full on Robin takeover.
I remember that one. Yeah, that was weird because I saw a glimpse of my face on the TV monitor. I'm like, oh, damn, we're really here now. Okay, send in the troops. Mick Jagger, come on down. It's like, wow, just right there, man. But he was much more relaxed than I am because, hey, he's a star. I'm just a guy who's trying to, assimilate that.
Yeah, because like everything, like I kind of believe that there is that he does come channel through you. This is my take on it. I don't know anything about it, but just looking at how it takes over, how like you even said you don't always remember the set you did.
Oh yeah, the blackout.
Yeah, so like, and then everything about you is him. Everything, the walk, like even the smallest details. It's amazing how you do that. And and if you're thinking he's in your, I think that's what's happening.
People have said as much, and I just get on with my life. Most of the time I spend painting pictures. I'm an artist, but I appreciate it because I think it creates a controversy. Some people say, "How dare you? How can you do this?" And I'm like, I don't think Robin minds. I've had Robin's complete seal of approval. Even when I went to do this movie, and I'm like, "What is your wife going to say?" He goes, "I got it. Don't worry. Shh, I got it." Like he's going to whisper to her and say, "Don't mess with this guy. Let him make his film. He doesn't mean any harm."
Now, like I said too earlier, like you've been doing Robin in your act since the 90s.
Yeah.
And has it evolved like after his passing? Like you said, like we said, that he's kind of channeling through you. Um, have you felt like were you always channeling him in the same way before his passing as you do now?
What's really weird is, Don, was moments before he passed, well before he passed, when I would be just riffing on stage as I'd be doing Robin, and all of a sudden, you know, it took over. It was channeling before he passed. I was just observing. And I said, wow, I have to, this just in, oh, we're going to be here for a little while. I hope you packed a lunch because damn, you know, it's right here. And I'm not going to stop. Why would I? I'm in a groove. So I don't know if it has anything to do with an actual ghost or a spirit. It's the connection and the ability to transform. And I don't know if that's acting. And you could call it mysticism. There's a mystical element to it, but it's mostly just really fun. And when people see it, like I love a good impression. I think Jim Carrey is one of the greats. He can tap into, like, I've seen him really go deep into like Andy Kaufman. Come on.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, and you realize there he is. That's what I love about impressions, when you can look at it as an acting job and it's not just a voice or just, what do you appreciate about impressions?
I always love impressions for a lot of reasons. I mean, you know, Rich Little as a kid, I loved Rich Little. To me, he was the epitome of what an impressionist should be. I also like that you can get into these characters and whether it's, you know, Richard Dreyfuss or John Wayne or Nixon or whoever the impression may be, you know, through the years, but you can then take that person and make them say things that might be out of character sometimes, or you know what I'm saying, or you can manipulate in that sense, and the punchline is there, or in some cases too, like in this case when it's a tribute, when it's somebody like Robin Williams or like Andy Kaufman or whoever it may be, to see that person alive again, you know, and with that same kind of energy and the same vibrance, I think taps in on a lot of levels too for audiences. And what's good too is, let's say there's audiences now, new audiences that weren't familiar with Robin. They were either too young or something. They're discovering him through you.
Oh, you know, you made a beautiful point there, because to illustrate your point, I really agree with you, because I'm working with this guy that manages the show, and I said, I'm going to Comic-Con, and he goes, kids are 20 years old, they don't know who Robin is. I'm like, well, they haven't been introduced. And the next thing I see is a little baby, like an 18-month-old baby sitting in a stroller. And I start nanu-nanuing the little kid and making fart noises, and he's just laughing. And I'm just being Robin at the most super id, you know, version of Robin. And just making faces. And all of a sudden, this kid is experiencing Robin, the jester, the clown, without having to, let me check my Google and see who Robin is. He's a 2-year-old. The hell does he know? He's illiterate, but he got introduced to an energy that we all felt when we first saw Robin. We didn't know who he was. He's, you know, Letterman thought he could fly. You
know? He was an amazing comedian, the energy, amazing actor, amazing artist, you know, so there must be also, I mean, now you're probably beyond that, but the pressure of Robin, when you know, and you know, there's a lot of people that are still around that knew Robin, came up the ranks with Robin, guys like Bobcat and things. Do you ever think about those people? Have you heard from I know Cindy Williams, but have you heard from anybody else that knew Robin, that saw you?
Well, yeah, I mean, Rick Overton was one of the people he loved to do improv with, and I've known Rick for years. So there's a common friend and I've gotten in touch with Rick, and he's been very, very supportive of the project. He's very busy with his own stuff, but you know, he's honoring what I'm doing, and it's also, he agrees it's important for me to keep doing my own thing, because after a while, I think it may have a shelf life. You know, I don't know how long you can memorialize somebody. This COVID thing really did a number on everybody, but I was just about to go off Broadway with this show. The last show I did in Buffalo was really a knockout, and then we were going to move to off Broadway, and then I was going to try to take it to another level.
Wow. Yeah.
And that COVID shut everything down. But I'll be crazy happy to get back to off Broadway when the world opens back up and see, as an artist, if I can take it to another level. Because now that we've all experienced COVID, and we're all asking ourselves, what can I do if I only have this much time? What is my plan? And my plan is to get busy with it and yeah, relax and eat a lot of ice cream too, because that's also the other side of it. But I want to take this to another level and not be disappointed that I didn't try.
Oh yes, I want you to know, when you think of me, be happy. Remember all the fun that we had. We partied. 40, 50 years we went crazy with Nanu, Nanu. Oh, Shazbot specimen, yeah. Oh, Mindy, oh yeah. We can do this thing now. Oh, more calling Orson. I'm back on Earth now. I'm a little older and things are hanging down, but it's okay.
I think there's a great arc to it from judging from what I've saw. You do, it looks like you carry Robbins throughout his career, from the Mork and Mindy, Popeye, and then all the way through Doubtfire, like you just did. And then the ending, like you said, you just kind of bring it all together. And I think that's the emotional experience people want. I think that's a perfect way to end it.
It's interesting because I never realized this, and that's exactly right. And I just doing it unconsciously as the hour grinds on. I start really, hey, yes, and it's all this running around and dancing. And, you remember Tanya Harding, who put the limp in the Olympics and all that silly shit. And I did the ballet and, young Robin going, oh, it's a squid. Oh, and as the evening goes on, I get tireder and older and my posture starts to go down. And you see it naturally, I get older during the show. And so that's the arc of it. Yeah.
We're all brothers and sisters. Darwin was misunderstood. He said survival of the fittest. Yes, if you have to mate and there's 2 males and 1 female, duke it out, boys. But look, the rest of the time, we are built not for competition, but for cooperation. See, I could kick your ass and survive, or I could help your ass and we could both survive. What do you want to do?
And listen, everybody have a very safe holiday. We're blessed. We're still here. We're in the lifeboat. And, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Take care of yourselves and live it to the most.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend. It's been a blast talking to you. You're awesome. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.